Well, hey folks, my name is Brad. Welcome to a Green Mountain vlog. If you happen to be new to these, between the months of November and May, I post these every other week. It's pretty hard to get out metal detecting when we have snow on the ground here in the mountains of Vermont, but as you might be able to tell, it is a beautiful spring day here in Vermont. The birds are chirping, the peepers are deafening, so the metal detecting content is going to be ramping up again at the beginning of May. So just to kind of give you an idea of what's coming up, next week is going to be a metal detecting video of an amazing day I had with some friends. I found 6 old coins all in one day. One of the best days I've ever had. That's going to be a great video. And then the following week is going to be a live stream. It's usually sometime in the evening on Friday, and that's going to then kick off the summer schedule of metal detecting videos every single Friday again. So hopefully I'll see you for that live stream. We usually give away prizes, just have a good time chatting. It's going to be on May 5th. So what's been going on with me over the last 2 weeks? Well, some of you may know, I have talked about this in past vlogs. I own and am the sole employee of a handmade studio microphone business. And I hand make these microphones for both recording studios and stage, and I've had a bunch of orders recently that I've had to fill. Even though it is beautiful outside, I've been down in the workshop building these things, soldering them together one at a time. I designed these little PCBs that I then have to populate with the components and then assemble them all together. Box them up, ship them out. It's a one-man show, and I've been doing it for over 10 years now. I got my process down now so that I'm pretty streamlined, but it still takes time to put these things together by hand. So I've been doing a whole lot of that. It has been beautiful outside this last week and a half, but I really haven't been able to get out metal detecting except the one time, the amazing 6-coin day. My boy, Bentley, is a member of the local 4-H, and we all got together over the weekend and we visited a local farm. Now, farms are not uncommon in my area of Vermont, but it's not very often we can actually go and hear from the farmer and explain their processes, and it was a lot of fun. A ton of chickens. Bentley got to help take out some of the eggs, which he does here too, but we only have 3 currently. They had well over 100 at this particular farm.
Wasted it.
Oh, chicken. Chicken teriyaki.
I didn't even see you sneak up. No, they just
They just got here on Thursday.
That's a lot of chicks.
These are the first group. I usually do Cornish. The ones they're Freedom Rangers are the ones that are a little better with pasture.
And they had cows both for milk and for beef.
There's 6 cows to a side. This was actually the first milking parlor ever put in the state of Vermont.
no way. Pretty high tech at the time, I bet.
Probably. So the cows come in that door over there. They each come in on a side, 6 and 6, and then they go out that door over there. And the cows, there's 6 cows standing here. And then we can put milkers on the cows. So the cows move instead of the people moving. Makes sense? And it makes a noise in here. It goes whoosh, 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 whoosh. And that's kind of what we call the pulsator. So that is sort of like if a calf was sucking. So this thing beats almost like a mouth of a calf would.
And last night I was able to see Eddie for the first time in well over a month. We chat on our phones all the time, but I haven't seen him in a while. He and I got together and we did some driving to do a podcast. The podcast is called Almost Canon, and I believe they're like a supernatural kind of mystery, conspiracy theory type podcast. and we went on there and had a blast talking to those guys. And I was able to film some of the podcast, which is what you're going to be seeing towards the end of this vlog. Just a couple snippets of it. If you want to hear the whole thing, you'll have to go to their sites and listen to the full podcast. But we talk a little bit about kind of some behind the scenes stories about DeGrau, which we've never told before, as well as kind of the full story behind the new series, which we haven't really talked about at all. So if you're interested in hearing about the new series, definitely check out this podcast. Hopefully you enjoy the few segments that I was able to film chatting with those guys. And then tomorrow, I am traveling to the Bermuda Triangle. Bermuda. It's family vacation. But I am hoping to do some filming there, maybe some treasure hunting. I am bringing a small metal detector. We'll see what happens. And by the time this airs, I'll already be home. Hopefully I make it home. You never know. People disappear there all the time. I don't know if that's true. Thanks for watching today's vlog. I'll see you here hopefully next week for a fun metal detecting video finding a ton of old coins. Hopefully I'll see you then.
The usual necessities.
Here we are,
Snacks,
the
Tonto
dream
knife.
team back together.
Yeah, coming at you. Back from the... We do it over.
Today we are taking a trip, about an hour drive, to do a podcast, a mystery ghost podcast. I guess we're going to talk about some treasure hunting as well, but we're also going to be talking about the DeGrau series as well as maybe some details on the new series.
Ooh. Mm. Mm. Sometimes they go hand in hand.
This little town. There's literally 0 restaurants.
The Dirty Duck Tavern right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's no lights on though. It looks like it's closed already. Maybe it only opens during like ski season.
Probably. There's the history museum. It's closed.
Post office. Oh, it's one of
Your
these.
destination is on the
I
right.
missed it. Should have brought our metal detectors.
All right, so yeah, we got 2 guests tonight, Brad Martin and Eddie, and I'm sorry, but I've
Give
never...
it your best shot. I want to hear.
No, I don't.
Piscucci.
Okay.
Oh, come on, that wasn't that hard, Nick.
I heard it a few times, so yeah, they're YouTubers of Green Mountain Metal Detecting. It's an awesome show. I've actually been watching it for a while.
Thank you.
And they're gonna join us tonight, and I figured we could just talk about some of their adventures, like.
Yeah, so when the channel first started, it was mostly both of us. Mostly just metal detecting, but we did some gold panning as well.
Gold panning got us into it, actually.
Right. After Hurricane Irene, decimated southern Vermont, there was a ton of people going out gold panning, which we didn't even know there was gold here in Vermont. And we found like people's gold pans and stuff along the river when we were fishing. And then that kind of, we never found any gold, of course. But then we kind of evolved into metal detecting and started bringing a camera along with us. And since then, Eddie's like grown up and gotten a job and family and a house and all this stuff. And,
Irene was what, 2011 or is that 2012?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there?
Yep. And we really kind of started moving into the metal detecting and filming in 2015. And since then, I do it pretty much full time and make a living from YouTube.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We don't see each other as much anymore, unfortunately. But we've kind of branched off into just not metal detecting. We do kind of explorations of historic places and like gemstones and fossils and anything treasure related. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think I just watched your first video that you posted this afternoon. We went in like a it was like a well or something. I mean, I don't want to say it was bad, but it's definitely...
No, we've come a long way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you guys should listen to our first podcast. That's the same story.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Really rough. Really, really rough.
Yeah, a little after that, I think finally convinced Brad.
Yeah, so I'm like a skeptic to the bone with this stuff, and still am. And so Eddie was like, we should go looking for this. I'm like, well, we're not gonna find it, so I don't know what we can do with this, right? And so finally he convinced me to like look it up, like Google it. And I never had before. It was just this Eddie story that he
I have a lot of Eddie stories, to be fair, that are a little wild.
And so I look it up, I just Google it, lost Vermont treasure, whatever. And it was really pretty legit.
And when him as the skeptic
Right.
starts acknowledging, all right, there's something here, I was like, we're going. We're in it. One time, I was bringing.
Oh, let me give this some backstory.
Yeah, you probably should.
So one of these stories, there was the demon dog, right? And there was the boy with the hot iron who protected the treasure. And so we were saying all along, DeGraw, we were saying, wouldn't it be amazing if we actually got some information from the psychic that led us somewhere? Wouldn't it be amazing if the dowsing rods actually made us find the treasure? Or wouldn't it be amazing if we actually came across some ghosts?
So can I preface and say I'm not very spiritual, but I was very cautious because there was a lot of tales that this was a thing. Like this would scare people away in town. I'm not going up there. I've heard about the ghost boy and the demon dog. Everyone knows that. Right. There was even backstories to this story that like other treasure hunters dragged the kid out there, killed him, threw him in a hole, and like his dog stayed there until it died with his owner, and they turned into guardians. But there was like tons of different spins on this thing. It was accepted in town.
So Eddie bought rock salt shotgun shell rounds and brought he hiked a shotgun up South Mountain just in case. And we actually filmed Eddie removing the shotgun and doing the
Nice.
We heard something. There was a light in the woods.
And then I was editing it. I was like, I gotta take this out.
Yeah, that's how people get hurt. You hear something wildly fire.
Of course, this was after, I hiked up the mountain with this thing on my back the whole time.
If you watch that episode, you'll see the shotgun on his back for no reason.
And there's no discussion of what it is or why it's there. It was just there.
You never broach it at all? You just,
no.
Okay. Yeah.
Nothing. It just
because
there.
We filmed at the end, Eddie, we're like, all right, now's the time. Because we heard coyotes, and we're like, who the hellhound?
Oh, yeah, it was right after.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, now's the time. And we did the full, and then I was like editing it, and I was like, man, this is too over the top.
I had a literal dream in my sleep of a scene. No context, just like a scene.
It had nothing to do with anything.
And I literally remember the next day after work, I went right to Brad, like, you gotta hear this. This is out. This isn't out. You're never gonna believe it. In my dream, I am experiencing the dream like first person, like it's cinematography stuff. And it's a cold winter night. It's a wagon trail, snow kind of going. And just a woman in a dress, just walking out, kind of in frame, with a little lantern, and it's like I am the camera, and right behind her, she's cold looking, and there's echoes, little sounds of the wild at night, a little wind, and then just in the distance, and turns, looks at the lantern, and suspense, and a little quick moving, and then footsteps. Turns around and a scream. Just fade to black. I don't know why.
So early on, we wanted to film a lot of, the backstory of Perry and the murders and stuff like real actors and actresses film. We decided on animation, but in the early storyboarding of this whole thing, we're like, that would be. But then we got to get period clothing. We have to get a period lantern. We have to
Yeah, it was going to be a lot. Yeah, a lot. Because there was a whole lot of these scenes too. We were like, that'd be great. Like we had a list of this, but
Wait, Eddie, do you often dream where like the entire thing is blocked out right in front of
never.
you?
That's why I was so adamant. I was like every day, like, hey, don't forget the scene, right?
He sent me like a photo that he made on his phone, like an app of like this lady with a bonnet on her head. He's like, wouldn't this be perfect for the show?
It was actually me with Snapchat filters looking like in a dress. Yeah. It was like, how about this? And adjusting the lighting. I'm like, we could do it. I could be the woman and the camera.
But then it's like, Eddie, who is this woman?
I said, I thought about it too. I'm like, honestly, maybe we don't even have any context. Maybe an episode just starts and there's this scene and it's horrifying. You're like, and it just ends in black. Like, what?
Never explain it.
And then just fade into like, hey, Brad and Eddie here, guys. We're going out in the woods today. Just leave them like, what was that? Right,
Yeah,
right.
We had a lot of big ideas in the beginning that we had to kind of pare down to make it actually feasible for two just dudes with really no videography experience whatsoever. Just to be like, all right, how do we film an actual show that's going to be entertaining?